It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special celebrity guest, William Fichtner. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to another season of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Mafia, wherever you're watching, thanks again for joining us. Great show lined up. Of course, Dr. Jared Shatkin, my co-host. Mafia will be here. Sam Castronova, the 2024 Offensive Player of the Year in the Indoor Football League, will do our In the Pocket segment for another year. And our special guest actor, Bill Fichtner. He's a Bills superfan out in L.A. He's going to be joining us as well as our Week 1 guest. But so much happened in the offseason, certainly through the summer, one of which, this guy's off the market. Congratulations on getting engaged, Jared.
Thank you. Thank
Awesome
you very
stuff.
much. Appreciate that. Yeah. So I had to do something waiting for football to give me a little bit of excitement, so I ended up going and getting engaged.
There you go. There you go. Lots of changes, though, with the Bills, obviously. Diggs, Davis, Morse, Poyer, Hyde, Dane Jackson, Trey White, all gone. Mitch Morse, did I mention him? We should have if I didn't. And, of course, Matt Milano, I count as a summer loss because of his injury. I mean, really significant turnover with this team. And, of course, the additions of Samuel and Coleman, MVS, Hollins, Trubisky comes back, a healthy Daquan Jones. Well, we'll swap Daquan Jones for Milano, I guess, in terms of health. And then you get Bishop and Edwards and Codrington in special teams. So what do you make of this enormous turnover to the Bills roster?
I mean, it's definitely an unknown. There's no doubt about that, but it feels like the team got like a facelift. You know, it was getting a little droopy, and they were ready to get a little younger. So we went in the offseason and we decided to get an excess of players this time. Instead of just having the one Stephon Diggs, now we got guys like Mac Hollins who can produce. We got guys like MVS who have been in Super Bowls and won Super Bowls. And it's just, I think the depth got a little better this offseason. And maybe that takes a little bit of pressure off Josh Allen, who, in my opinion, looked in the best shape of his life, throwing the ball as confident as can be. And I think the team got what they needed to do, because the guys that are off the team were getting a little bit older. Poyer and Hyde were getting up there in age. They were getting injured a lot. Mitch Morse was losing a little bit of his athletic ability, although all these guys were definitely strong producers last year. Maybe you want to get rid of them a year early than a year late, you know. So I do like what they did in the offseason. Maybe they're going to have some growing pains at first, but I do see it as being a successful way to GM a team.
Yeah, really good segue, because I was going to say this is, I feel like, going to be a work in progress, especially for the offense. I mean, look, we know what Josh Allen is. We know what Kincaid is. We know what Deion Dawkins is. We know what James Cook is. But beyond that, so many question marks on this offense. I mean, think about it. Josh and all of these new receivers really got no time against any clear opponent. And I get it, preseason, there's no game planning, but it's still a game situation. So that sort of concerns me, the fact that they haven't been in stadiums, whether it's their own or somebody else's, against ones from the other team, because let's face it, in training camp, practice can get pretty predictable, right? They know who's covering them. They know their tendencies, where you watch a little bit of film on a guy, you might think you know until you actually get on the field against them. So for me, I'm a little nervous about that, and I think it's going to take could be 5, 6, 7 games before they're really, really moving. But do you believe that Coleman's going to be what we think he's going to believe, that Shakir will end up? A lot of people are saying he's going to be the one on this team. What is Samuel going to be capable of? I know Kincaid, they're saying, it's going to be the guy, right? That's pretty much a given. But what about the other guys? What do you think?
So, in my opinion, the number one receiver on this team is going to be Curtis Samuel. I think he has a lot of talent, and he's been pretty successful in the league with not Josh Allen throwing him the ball. I think he steps in, and he has a really nice skill set. Just the one preseason game, that little quick screen he got, it looked to me like Deebo Samuel. I think they're going to use him in a lot of different ways, and I think he's going to end up being our number one receiver. In terms of receiving the football, I think Kincaid's going to take a big step. And I think this is why I'm pretty bullish on the offense at some point this year, is because those two guys, to me, have a skill set that we haven't seen on the Bills yet.
So people are saying that the Bills could be the Kansas City offense this year that Kansas City was when they lost Tyreek Hill, right? They lose their big star receiver, all kinds of question marks with who Mahomes had in his receiver group, now Allen has with his receiver group. But what are the constants? For Kansas City was Kelsey, for the Bills, Kincaid, and here's a great stat. Both of those guys were a 1/10 of a yard difference in terms of depth of reception. And I think that's what Joe Brady wants to do offensively.
Yeah.
He's not going to go for the deep ball. He's going to have deliberate, long drives where basically guys are going to have to run after catch. You're going to hear the term rack and yak a lot with this offense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think another reason why the Bills kind of left some of those receivers in the past was because there wasn't much yak with those guys. Stephon Diggs was a guy who didn't have much run after the catch ability. And I think the way that defenses play nowadays, you have to kind of dink and dunk your way down the field. You're not going to hit those deep shots as much with the big cover 2 high safeties. And I think last year was something where it had been the offenses in the NFL going like skyrocketing. And I think last year was a little bit of a reality check for the offenses. So I think this year you're going to see kind of a counterpunch to what the defenses are doing now. And I think it's going to be more running with Ray Davis and James Cook and more screen passes and more of the short game. But the one constant that we always have is that guy Josh Allen can make plays. He can get to his 3rd and 4th read where other people can't.
Yeah, defensively, let me fast forward real quick because we're a little short on time here. Secondary, obviously you got your starters at corner, who I think we can rely on pretty well in terms of Rasul Douglas and Benford. Secondary, Rapp and Edwards, they've started in the league before. I think Bishop's going to be a player that moves in. Hamlin, as of the taping of the show today, was a guy that was listed as the starter at safety. But all guys that are capable, and clearly with Rousseau and Epinesa on the end, Ed Oliver coming up off a career year, the only position really, as far as I'm concerned, that I'm concerned with is where Milano was, right? So Dorian Williams slated now, but will it be him? Will it be Spector? Will it be Morrow? Like, what guy is going, or are they going to platoon next to Bernard?
Or Buffalo Joe.
Or Buffalo Joe, of course, which of course was a great story.
Yeah,
sure.
Awesome story. But I don't think he's going to start in terms of Milano. I think Dorian Williams is ready to take that step. I think if you look at his body throughout this offseason compared to him as a rookie, he got really muscular, very muscular, and he was extremely athletic already. All this guy needs is to be coached right, and I think he can be a very good player. Do I think Milano is a huge loss? Absolutely. I don't know if Dorian Williams is going to step in there and be Matt Milano, but maybe we don't need him to be Matt Milano. We need him to play the defense the way that McDermott coaches it, and I think he's ready to take that next step.
Special teams, of course, Tyler Bass has had his issues last year, had a rough preseason, and he's had no competition virtually in camp at all. And then Codrington comes in, who was an undrafted free agent from the Jets, to be the punt and kick returner. Ty Johnson technically listed as the kick returner, but Codrington back there as well. So certainly some questions at special teams, which of course will get answers as we progress in the season. All right, you're going to be with us through the entire show, so stay here. Bill Fichtner comes up next. We're going to have score predictions in the Mafia as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show next.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, so it's been about 6 months since I've been able to actually do this. I'm back, and I couldn't think of a better guest to have join me to open it back up in the basement than Buffalo's own Billy Fichtner. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm going to be doing a lot better on the 8th when I see a W, when I go to sleep and there's a W in my eye.
How about the Lancaster kid, Andreessen, making the Bills? What do you think?
My younger son, who was born in New York City, raised in California, is a bigger Bills fan than I am. And I will freely admit that. And he's been talking to me throughout the preseason, especially that Pittsburgh game. He called me after, he goes, "Did you see any of it?" And I said, "No, I didn't. I was doing something." And he goes, and he starts talking about this kid, Joe. And and then he sent me an article on it, and he gave me a little backstory and everything. But he's, and my son he's pretty smart with this stuff, and he said, Dad, I'm telling you, he is the real deal, and he's exciting, and he's fearless, and I can't wait. And you know what? Listen, the biggest heartbreak this year. I mean, sure, we lost a lot of veteran people. Come on, we're not the only team that goes through this sort of thing, and you got to do this for cap space and all of this. But having Matt Milano injure his bicep is nothing made me go because we missed him for most of last year, and we did okay. But can you imagine if we had him? And I don't know when Matt's going to come back this year. I believe he'll come back before the end of the season, but people I talk to, I'm not sure if it's a partial tear, full tear, this, that. I don't know, but it's not easy to overcome it. And, if there's a little bit of silver lining, not that it makes up for Matt Milano, that's for sure, because I think Matt is top 2 in the league at his position. And I'm just saying that because I think he's number 1, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt to someone else. I think Matt's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a stud.
To have the excitement around this kid and that he made that roster, bring it on.
Yeah.
What happens every year, there's somebody that's undrafted comes up and they're a star. And I think we got one.
I'll tell you what, if he can end up being our Brock Purdy, I'll take that all day.
Yep. Bring it on.
So, Billy Fichtner, one word that's been describing the Bills this year, and it was kind of added on to because of Milano's injury, but because of the guys you mentioned that were gone, Diggs, Poyer, Hyde, Trey White, no one really knows what Vaughn's going to be, right? A lot of turnover. A word that's been used a lot about the Bills is transition. Like, this is a transition year. Do you buy that?
I think you have to buy it. I really do. Now, is it going to be, the word transition usually equates to, well, they're going through some stuff, so they're not going to be as good as they always were. That's usually what you associate a team that's in transition. Now, I'm not so sure that that's going to be the Bills' season, but are we a team in transition? Yes. Could we be the best transitional team people have seen in a long time? Yes, we could be, but it's hard not to think that that's an applicable word to where the Bills are at these days. I do think this, and I've said this a million times. I had an argument the other day with a couple of guys that came over here that were Steelers fans. Well, this and this and this. And I looked at them and I said, let me ask you something. Who would you rather have start for the Steelers in week 1? Do you want Russell Wilson? Do you want Fields? Or would you like Josh Allen? Well, that was the end of that conversation. Let's put it that way. We're a team that has Josh Allen. And when you have Josh Allen, you have a shot. I'm the eternal Bills fan. I deep down believe that a lot of the changes, am I going to miss people like Hyde and Poyer? I mean, talk about a couple of classy guys. Sean McDermott said it. Matt Milano's down. Someone's going to step to the plate.
Next man up.
That's pro football. And there's guys that want to be that guy. But I just don't count out the Bills, and I don't think you can.
No, you can't.
I don't care what you say. I will tell you this much. I do want to say this, talking about our beloved Buffalo Bills. I am so tired of the NFL writers in this league that I swear they spend more time in this offseason building up to this season ranking Josh Allen on well, is he really that? He's not this. Remember last year we lost that Jets game in the opening? I forget who it was. If I saw his face on television, seeing him the next day on TV going, Josh Allen is a travesty. He's a travesty. He's a travesty. What are you, out of your mind? You wish you had a career like him. If you had a career at all. Let me tell you something. You could say what you want about Josh up and down. My feeling is this. I'm going to say it out loud. 13 seconds. That's not players. Something else went wrong there. But that's not players. That's not the playing personnel on that team. That was a year to win the Super Bowl. Didn't happen. It's okay. there'll be another one. But I got to tell you, do we have the goods, the backbone of a team that can win it all? Why not? Why not? We got Josh Allen. I really believe that. Have a great season, Buffalo Sabres. Have a great season, Buffalo Bills. And fans, let's go get them.
We'll see you at the opener, my friend. Thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it.
See you later. You take
Good
care.
talking to you, man. You too, man. Thanks.
All right, bro.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as one visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount, I needed the dentist that was gonna fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. It's time to go in the pocket. All right, here we are, another year with Sam Castronova, the 2024 Offensive Player of the Year in the Indoor Football League for the San Antonio Gunslingers. How about these for stats? 75 passing touchdowns, 23 rush touchdowns, just 7 picks, almost 70% complete. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you very much.
Awesome accomplishment. It's been a weird year, too, or weird off-season anyway. Dr. Jared gets engaged. You have your second child. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Give a shout out.
Shout out to Tatum and Trey. Tatum turns 2 years this month, and Trey just turned 6 months. So
Awesome.
My wife has her hands full.
All right, let's talk about Kyler Murray, obviously. He's my size probably, if not smaller. Clearly a much better athlete than I am. We know what happened the last time the Bills played Kyler Murray with the Hail Murray to D-Hop, but they're coming here this time. Second-year coach, second-year staff. He's back, fully healthy, and of course he's got Marvin Harrison. So talk a little bit about his skill set, what the Bills have to do to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, number one, first and foremost, I think you got to just try and contain him in the pocket, kind of like how we play Lamar, just push the pocket and set our edges. He can beat you with his legs pretty good. But Marvin Harrison, I mean, he looks like he's poised for a breakout year. I got him going in the second round in fantasy. I couldn't take him that early, but he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be a good pro. And second year, they'll probably be more comfortable in a new offense. So it's going to be a little challenge for week one with a lot of new players on defense for the Bills.
All right, but just keep him contained and in the pocket, basically, Kyler Murray. Don't let him beat you with his legs. Make him make mistakes with his arm, ideally, right?
Yeah, and don't force him left with 5 seconds left.
All right, Sam. We'll be back to you a little bit later. Let's go to the Mafia now. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. It's time to bring in the Mafia for our Week 1 segment. Guys, welcome. Bob Ganges here, Evan Harrington. They are veterans of the Mafia. They've been here on the show many times before. Of course, Jared is still here as well, and Rich. And let's get into, Bob, you first. Let's talk a little bit about the offseason for this team. The losses, the gains in terms of personnel, obviously some new coordinators. What did you make of it all in terms of where we stand today?
Well, they've gone as far as they could with the people they had, right? They didn't make it to the big game yet. So I thought that getting rid of Diggs was, I'm not sure if it was a great move, but I do see the silver lining that next year they'll have an opportunity to get more players, and spreading the ball to different people might be something that's, Josh Allen could take advantage of.
Yeah, Evan, what about you? Your takeaway from the offseason and the current roster and knowing what the schedule looks like as well. What do you make of this 24 Bills club?
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the comments earlier today posted by Stefon Diggs about his time in Buffalo and how it was the lowest point of his career in the final back half of the season. And now you move off of guys like Diggs and Davis, and you bring in a guy like Coleman and Curtis Samuel. You got Khalil Shakir stepping up. MVS is here. Mac Hollins. It's a brand new wide receiver core. And then, like you mentioned about the defensive backs, I mean, Trey White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. These were three staples from the beginning of Sean McDermott, 2017. I mean, 2017, all three of these guys were here, and in the year 2024, they're all gone. I mean, this is a brand new Buffalo Bills, defense. It's going to be a new look for the Buffalo Bills, and I'm excited for it because I think that when the Bills face adversity, they kind of get the best out of themselves, and I think that Josh Allen and the crew are going to be able to do some really good things this year with a brand new look.
Are you, Jared, that optimistic as Evan is about this group?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about the team this year. I think that there was some locker room cancers inside of the team last year. I think Stefon Diggs was bringing out the worst in a couple of these guys, especially the receiver room. I think it seemed as if Josh was kind of fading him at the end of the season anyway. And to me, that's very important, the relationship between a quarterback and their number one receiver. So when that was fractured, I think the whole team kind of went through that. I think they felt the pain that those two players were having with each other, and I think now having a more wide open offense where you have guys, you don't have that number one receiver per se, but you have guys like Dalton Kincaid who's going to catch 1 million balls this year. He could step up and be awesome, and I think Josh looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He's skinnier than I've ever seen him, probably laid off the Taco Bell this offseason. And it just seems like he's more confident with the ball, and he's ready to spread it around. He's ready to, that saying everyone eats, I think they talk about in the locker room, because I think last year it wasn't like that. I think it was more of a me type of attitude in that receiving room. And listen, I appreciate what Stefon Diggs did for the team, but I think it's time now for kind of a new generation of players to step up.
All right, let's do a quick trivia question. And some Chino's dough up for grabs, guys. So whoever gets it right wins a $25 gift card over to Sorrentino's on Main Street. Very simple. We're playing the Cardinals, and the trivia questions every week have to do with the week's opponent. So we're playing the Cardinals. Question is, it's Arizona. Prior to that was St. Louis, but they were somewhere else before that. Anybody know? Anyone want to take a stab what city the Cardinals were in before St. Louis?
They were in Chicago.
They were in Chicago. The Chicago Cardinals.
What a genius.
Like the Bills want to eat, you're going to be eating now. Yeah. Evan, nice work, and thanks for being on. We need a score prediction, though, before you go.
Give me 29-21 Buffalo Bills win.
An 8-point win. Bob, how about you?
Well, let's go 27-23 Buffalo.
All right, Bob, Evan, thanks. You're coming up next with me on our final segment to break down the Bills and the Cardinals. You'll get our score predictions as well as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
What a difference a smile makes. Embarrassed to smile? Call us today for a free consultation.
RV shoppers, get the right RV at the right price at all Myers RV locations. Save big with a short drive east on the 90 to any of the 3 conveniently located Myers RV locations in Rochester. Learn more at MyersRVs.com.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Now it's where myself and Dr. Jared talk about the Cardinals this weekend and then go through the entire schedule to come up with what we think the Bills' record will be at the end of 2024. So let's talk a little bit about the Cardinals coming in for the home opener. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Going to be a little chilly, but a nice late summer, early fall feeling day out at Highmark. Kyler Murray comes off the ACL, 100% healthy, adds Marvin Harrison, adds Zay Jones, who in my opinion has been kind of an underrated guy in his career after leaving the Bills. Trey McBride, they're talking about as one of the more elite tight ends in the league. And of course, James Conner, running back. Defensively, you got Budda Baker and then a bunch of. So what do you make of the Cardinals coming into this game?
I think they're definitely improved, but the problem is what they're improving from is arguably one of the worst teams in the league. So I don't think they're on the same class as the Buffalo Bills. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a really good player. I don't think much of Kyler Murray as a passer. Even before he tore his ACL, I never thought much of him as a passer. I think James Conner is a good running back, but when as a running back really won the playoff games or won a Super Bowl. I'm not very confident on the Cardinals roster, so you can see which way I'm kind of leaning for the game.
Super young team. 3 second-year linemen up front, a first and second-year wideout. McBride's in his 3rd year. They only have 15 homegrown players, and you probably can't name their coach unless you looked him up. He's in his 2nd year in Jonathan Gannon, but again, coordinators, the average fan has never heard of their coordinators. I went up and down their coaching staff. The average fan has never heard anybody on their coaching staff. So very, very young top to bottom on Arizona. That's why I think the Bills have the advantage. So I'm going to get a score prediction for this game first from you, and then we'll go through the rest of the schedule. What do you think?
So I think that we're going to come out with a lot of energy in this game, and I think we're going to win 34-17.
34-17. I'll go 31-13 just to throw it out there. But I think this is going to be a rout. I think Arizona is going to be overmatched in this game for sure. So let's now get to the rest of the schedule, because we talked a little bit before the segment about what we think the record's going to be at the end of the year. I maintain this is maybe the toughest schedule the Bills have had in recent history. I'm talking decades.
Extremely difficult.
Really difficult.
But I'm more bullish on the team than a lot of Bills fans. I like this team this season. I think we're going to get off to a little bit of a slow start, but let's see where our records go, because I'm not quite sure yet where I'm going to pick some of these games.
Yeah, okay. Well, obviously Arizona in week 1. Obviously we're at Miami. Home against Jacksonville in the Monday night game.
Yep.
That's going to be tough, obviously. At Baltimore, at Houston, at the Jets. I mean, they got 5 games in a row that are brutal.
Yeah, I think you got to start that 5-game stretch 3-2 at least. We've seen the Bills get down to 6-6, 6-7, and still climb their way back. So, but you're right. It's going to be important. These are games that are going to be some division games, some conference games. They're going to have playoff implications. We have to start off really strong in the beginning.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they come in at 500 into week 11, I think it's going to be much more problematic than it was when we were 6-6 and ended up winning the division, right? Because week 11 through the end of the year is KC at home against San Francisco, at the Rams and at Detroit, who arguably are both better. Then you get, of course, the divisional games. I think New England we sweep. I think a Jet split. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to be
Dolphins split.
Yeah, Dolphins. I think we're going to beat the Dolphins twice. But it seems like the whole NFL is getting better until the season starts, right?
All right. So what do you got for a win-loss record for 2024 for the Buffalo Bills?
I believe we are going to go 11-6.
I am not as optimistic as you. I got the Bills at 9-8, and if they make the playoffs, they're squeaking in. I hope I'm not right, because I just don't know to this point what to expect out of all the new faces. At any rate, great kickoff to the season. Good to see you. Good to see you watching. Thanks so much to Dr. Todd Shatkin, Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Sorrentinos, and Myers RV for bringing us to you. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. See you next week. Go Bills.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.